Hello, everybody, and welcome. Happy Tolkien's birthday today. It's a special day, of course. It's the 3rd of January, Tolkien's birth, his 128th, I think. I think that's correct, yes. 128 today, Tolkien would be. And, of course, Happy New Year to everybody. Good to be back again with my friend Gryfflet. I am Corey Olsen, the Tolkien Professor, joined as always by my friend Gryfflet, who is here staring moodily out across the Norcrofts to the south, where he knows his next adventures are taking him here as he looks to complete his time in the Norcrofts. Not that I'm under any illusions that I'm necessarily going to do that today, but anyway, he knows he's having pretty much finally finished his journeys over here in the sink of vice and iniquity that is Cliving. He is going to be headed south again, and he's got some business down here with some quests to help rid. They've already pretty much sacked them all because of the Reeve of Cliving, who's so horrible. But anyway, point is, I've got to go get some orcs to kill and totems to smash and things like that. So that's where Gryfflet is going to be heading. He's going to get out of the way of this watchman up here, who's been like, you know, Gryfflet's kind of been in his personal space here for some time. So, all right, let's see. Where are we here? Okay. Yeah, I see. Phil says that he hoists an improbably large mug of tea to the professor. That's actually what this is. For those of you who have ever wondered what I'm drinking out of my enormous white mug when I'm streaming, iced tea is always the answer. So I have my own improbably large mug of tea, which I am hoisting. Okay, so Gryfflet is going to get on his horse, first of all, and he's going to head down and do some things, and I am going to descend. I think this is the way down, yeah? All right, and get down to business. Now, meanwhile, oh, no, this is just not the way. Well, that's the way up into, or, no. Boy, Gryfflet has been up in that tower so long he can't even remember how to get down. No, this is just the way into the city. Hey, look at that. I turned around without going down the cliff. Okay. Yes, it is Exploring the Lord of the Rings' 3rd birthday today. That is correct. We started on Tolkien's birthday back in 2017. So that was fun and exciting. Where's the... Okay, how do I get down off the cliff? I can't even remember. I know how. By being a burglar. Darn it. Oh, man. Sorry, I didn't time my jump right there. Okay. Fine. That gets me down. Okay, so, so Exploring the Lord of the Rings was founded 3 years ago, which is really exciting. I'm looking forward to resuming our discussion on the Council of Elrond, which we're going to whip right through here this year. In fact, I'm really planning on spending the entirety of 2020 discussing the Council of Elrond. I just reread the whole Council of Elrond. I'm doing right now my year beginning reread of the Lord of the Rings, my annual reread of the Lord of the Rings. So I'm actually I'm in the Breaking of the Fellowship right now, and just this past week I was reading, at normal speed my way through the Council of Elrond, and just thinking about how much fun it's going to be talking through all of this stuff with you guys. Really looking forward to that. Okay, can I safe fall with a horse at higher levels? Well, that'd be kind of awesome, Phil, but I don't know the answer to that question at all. All right, now let me lay my plans here. So there's that warband I want nothing to do with, the dude with the horsed archers. I meant to totems and banners are down here, and there's some other dudes that I'm supposed to be killing over here, and there's the red fields over there, which I'll do on the way towards Elfingels, which is going to be my next destination, and from there down to Faldham. Okay, all right, so just making sure I have my plans laid here, good. And then meanwhile, while I get things ready here, I'm not going to start the Vengeance for Elfingels quest again. Oh, but I meant to defeat mounted orcs anyway. Well, I'm still not going to do it. Okay. Excellent. So I'm just going to queue up here a lore question that I can answer while I'm starting off. And let's see what it... Okay, so I will answer a question I got last time, I think, which was several weeks ago. But anyway, I'll come back to it. Batron70 was asking what becomes of Mordor and Sauron's army after the destruction of the ring. Do I think evil was truly vanquished for good? Could another such evil arise before the Dagor Dagorath? Or do I think the free peoples would be safe until then? Okay, so let me take these... questions oops, that's just exactly not what I wanted to do. Hi guys. Yep, so I was gonna slaughter a bunch of you if we could do that. Thanks, I appreciate it. Okay, anyway, so what happened to the army? So what happened to the army is, oh man, when they just ride away, okay, fine, you freaking coward. I'm moving off from you. I don't care about you anymore. By your refusal to stand still in any way, I'm treating you as if you're already dead. Okay. Anyway, whoa, hey there. Oh, must have been the archers who were doing me in there. Let's see. How do I do this? Whoop. Oh no, Gryfflet is slain. Great. Okay. Bingo Boffin rises to become Dark Lord of all, obviously, says Ethelward. Yeah, I totally agree. Okay, so what comes of the army? We're told of what comes of the armies of Sauron after... some in the appendices, but also even in the Lord of the Rings itself. Wow. Okay, I didn't know I had the set fire to banner skill all poised there. Alright, so that was one banner. Oh, there's another one. Okay, easy enough. Oh, I see a totem. Missed it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so sorry. This is like me remembering how to do mounted combat in part. When you know it's been too long since you have done a Gryfflet stream. So yeah, as we're told what happens. The orcs are pretty much slaughtered. Some go into hiding, but they're like hunted down. Like you know, is there any chance of the orcs repenting afterwards? This, of course, is one of the most fraught issues. You know, lots of people like to imagine that, you know, maybe the orcs could be, freed from the influence of Sauron, could become constructive members of society, with whom, the free peoples could have, profitable interactions and things. Tolkien gives no indication of this. And I, have said before, and I would say again, that this is one of the most sort of troubled elements of Tolkien's entire world-building experiment. He never resolved the orc issue, ultimately. Is this one of those banners? No, this is not one of those banners. This is just a other banner. So yeah, I can't. Well, that's one of the banners, though. Oh, and there's a totem. So yeah, I'm not going to get too distracted talking about this, because I've talked about this before, and we can talk about this again in its proper place. But just to say that yes, the Tolkien says that the orcs are hunted down. As for the men of the East, that's a little bit more complicated. At the battle, like at the actual Black Gate, they were, most of them surrendered. Like the orcs, fight to the death, and the men surrender. And it is possible, to establish peace with them, and that appears to be done in some cases anyway, though not in all cases. That is, we know that there are continued wars between Gondor and the men of Harad, for instance. That is mentioned, that there's, in the east and south, Rohan, fights alongside Gondor in continuing wars to establish, so they're still under threat from the kingdoms of the south, and so continued wars are fought. So during Aragorn's life, there is still war, we know, long after the War of the Ring. And this, of course, pretty much answers the second question of, is evil ended for good? No, evil's not ended for good. Evil can't be ended for good. One of the things that we're told. Okay, so is there going to arise a new Dark Lord, right? I mean, that I think is part of what... Okay, where's the last stupid totem? That's part of what the question seems to be asking. So there was Morgoth in the old days, and then he was destroyed, and that seemed fine. But then, Sauron arose, and so now Sauron's not destroyed, but functionally destroyed. Is there going to be, another Dark Lord that's going to rise up after him? No, I don't think so. That doesn't seem to be the likely plan. We don't have any idea of somebody who would do that. And the other thing that I would emphasize is that, what, did somebody lame my horse? How'd that happen? I'm just looking for the... Hooray! I found the last totem. Yes. Okay. Now, what's going on here? I think I'm done. Oh no, I gotta go over to the Red Fields quest that I missed, I think from earlier on. Okay, so I'll just ride straight over to there and do some more defeating, in this case of orc archers. Great. Okay. So, this, it seems to me, is part of the question of, like, the changing of the age, is evil vanquished for good? Will there never be any more wars? No, we know there are more wars, but even apart from that, that's not it's not really something that's sort of in the offing, because of course, like, evil is not just a positive force like that in the world. It's not like Morgoth and Sauron were the sources of all evil, and so once they're gone, evil is done. That's just not... okay, I think this is one of the dudes I'm supposed to be looking at. That's just not how it works. The only reason Morgoth and Sauron were evil to begin with was that they fell, right? That, they were not evil in the beginning, as Elrond emphasizes, but they fell into evil and became evil. And obviously that can happen to people at any time. So that's something that's always going to happen. New evils arising, new evil lords, but not dark lords, not necessarily people like Sauron. Ooh, wait, Haglob? Oh, Haglob the Troll. I think so. Yeah, let's do that. There he is, too. Okay. Let's see if we can get this guy. This looks like fun. Be a little bit more top down for this. Okay. This should take a little time. Yeah, now, I see somebody... sorry, who it is? Oh, yeah, Darnolf. Now, I don't agree with you there. Darnolf says if there can't be any good if there is no evil. That is, in Tolkien's world, that is absolutely untrue. And this is an important point, because, of course, in part, this is one of the points that leads to the orc issue that I was mentioning earlier on. Oop, got a little bit close there. I'll let him injure me. Well, my horse, anyway. So, Tolkien's worldview is essentially, the worldview that he is building Middle-earth on is essentially an Augustinian worldview. That is, he's sort of, called after Saint Augustine, who is one of the greatest proponents of it. And the basic concept there is it is not a yin-yang situation. It is absolutely untrue, according to the Augustinian worldview, that you can't have good without evil. You absolutely can have good without evil, and good without evil is a actually very standard thing. The existence of evil is itself the aberration. That is the... so basically, the idea is that evil is not a positive thing. It is a negative thing. Evil is only good which has been corrupted. Good is the only thing which exists. Evil, again, is only good twisted. That is the entire Augustinian concept. And that is a worldview which more and more seemed to kind of... Tolkien began to work that out and its implications more and more consistently throughout the writing of The Lord of the Rings. And in general, that works out super well. The difference being the orcs, as I mentioned before. But anyway, so yeah, it's absolutely in Tolkien's worldview, it is absolutely untrue that you can't have good without evil. You can totally have good without evil, just as you can have light without darkness. Now, you can say, like, if you would like, that you appreciate the light more when you're in the darkness, but light is a thing, right? In fact, this is one of the primary illustrations that St. Augustine himself uses, right? Like, light is a positive thing, right? Light exists. Darkness is only the absence of light. Darkness isn't a thing. Darkness is just what
you see when light is not, and that is exactly the image for good and evil, according to the Augustinian view. Which, again, as I say, it's fairly clear in from the Lord of the Rings. Okay, hang on, Mr. Haglob, is that your name? I want to go. We're kind of moseying down the hill and towards that other mob, which I'd rather not do if we could avoid. So if we could just move up the hill a little bit here, if you wouldn't mind. We'll rotate the other direction if that's convenient. Yeah. So again, so just as you can't shine, you can have a flashlight, but you can't have a flash dark, right? A candle can shine light into a dark room, but there is nothing that shines darkness into a light room, right? I've run out of war steed power, which is usually what I do around this stage of my fight with this troll. So I'm just going to orbit you until as my power comes back, and then I'll resume attacking you, Haglob. Meanwhile, I'm going to carry on talking. So, again, that's the fundamental idea of good and evil in Tolkien's world. As I say, it's there are many things in the Lord of the Rings that he says that makes this clear. Even no, you jerk! Don't you reach in? Oh well. Never mind you then. I did this once before on one of my other alts, and it took forever. I was kind of hoping I could do it in one swoop there. That happened to me like 2 or 3 times in the other fight that I had with him. But it's fine. See, Matthias, he says, Augustine clearly didn't have a black UV light. But see, that's just a different form of light. You're still shining light. So again, like that doesn't change anything, actually. It's just on a different bandwidth. So anyway, so let me go back to hunting for archers rather than taking the entire time trying to whittle Haglob down to size here. Hang on a second. Raider, do you count? Nope, you don't. Right, it's those dudes, the archers, that I'm supposed to be killing. Anyway, so yeah, this is really important for understanding Tolkien's worldview. If you want to know, I presume some of you might like to know the evidence. I don't want to just assert things like Tolkien is clearly using an Augustinian worldview and not back it up at all. The things that, like when Elrond says, "For nothing was evil in the beginning, even Sauron was not so." That is a classic statement of this doctrine. The whole idea of the fall. And even of, within Christian theology, the fall of Lucifer, right? That even Satan himself is not originally evil. He is not a force for evil. He is a good force which has free will and has decided to use his power for evil instead of for good. In fact, even all of the things that any evil person does, any power used by evil people, or like any power used for evil, that's still a good thing. So like if you are a strong person, if you have physical strength and you choose to use your power in order to, abuse and victimize other people, you're doing an evil thing. But the strength that you are using is a good thing. Everything that you are using in order to do evil is in its nature good. The strength that you have is good. The fact that you exist even is a good thing. I still got 2 more. Evil is in this way essentially an abuse of good gifts that are given and a result of free will. The fact that people can choose how to employ their abilities and how to employ their gifts. And this, of course, applies not only to people, but to other things like angels and archangels, and in Tolkien's case there, of course, Valar and Maiar. and hence we get Sauron and Morgoth. Now, anyway, so back to the original question. That was a slightly long digression, but I don't regret it. There is no evidence that there is any other spiritual being on a similar level to, Sauron, which is waiting to take over, right? And that, will rise up as a new Dark Lord. Where's that other guy? There he is. Oh, he's a charger. You're of no manner of use to me at all. Anyway. So, isn't it a little ironic for a charger to be running away? Yeah. Anyway, so there's really no evidence. I mean, the ring wraiths are tied to Sauron, or at least their powers in their rings, which are tied to the One Ring, and so they are destroyed when the ring is destroyed. Whoa. Oh, those are good guys. Bunch of wild horses. Fine. Looking around. Oop. I'm leaving the way of the archers. Do we know the fate of the mouth of Sauron following the War of the Ring? Not specifically, but he's mortal. We don't know. We are pointedly not told his whole history, but it's clear that he's a man. He's not. He's not a wraith. He's not a Maya. There just aren't so many of those establishing themselves, in the world these days. So, again, I don't. Tolkien does not give any, sort of anything to sort of hook on to as far as any kind of threat. Tolkien does not really leave the Lord of the Rings with like obvious sequel material in play. Ooh, was that it? Did I finish? And no, I'm on principle. I'm not taking this quest again. I don't care. Yeah. Oh no, this quest is going to make me go back to talk to Athelward again. Oh, fine. Fine. Yeah, let's see. Okay. All right. Hey, Madman Modeler, good to see you. All right, fine. I will grudgingly go and very briefly talk to Athelward again, but I really wanted to be out of his smarmy and hideously corrupt presence. Oh, look at this. Yes, I made it up both stairs on my war steed. I'm so proud of myself. At full gallop, too, and I didn't Rivendell either one of them. Okay, I think I would hate the Reeve of Cliving just for, like, these stone walls, which I find really annoying in this town. But anyway, needless to say, I have more substantive reasons for a grudge against Athelward here. Okay, cool. Excellent. My holidays were excellent, Madman Modeler. I've been home with my family. I did not really travel these holidays. I had lots to do here at home, but it's been good. It's been a busy holiday season. All right. Turning in this quest
You have done well.
Yeah, whatever, dude. See you next time, Athelward, when I'm bringing you to justice. I hope to never see your face until I see you in irons. Okay. Yeah, Palathul, you're right. The flame imperishable is the flame imperishable is a very powerful image of exactly that kind of positive force of life and good, that force of creation that is, that is open to, that is available, right, to Iluvatar, but not to evil. I mean, Morgoth is searching for it, right, in the void, but you'll notice that he doesn't find it, right? He can't find it. He can't use it, not just because Iluvatar, selfishly keeps it for himself or something like that, but again, like in turning to evil ways, he is turning away. He is turning away from the light. Where does he turn instead of the light? To the shadow, right? That is the shadow cast by the light. Note also the use of shadow, right? The fact that shadow is, the most dominant. Okay, I'm going to go over here rather than going through the town. Maybe by going over here, I'll remember how to get up the hill too. How to get up and down the hill. Anyway, oh, look, hey, here we are. I seem to be up the hill over this way. Okay, so I think my problem was I was looking for a road down, and there isn't a road. Okay, it's just right next to the gate. Fine. Anyhow, yeah, so that evil is so frequently connected to shadows, right? And shadows are not positive things. Shadows are just the darkness that is cast by light and a solid body, right? The ultimate substancelessness of evil is one of the things I think that Tolkien points to by talking about the shadow. And therefore, when people like Aragorn or Gandalf or Elrond refer to the shadow and Sauron's shadow, they're not giving him props. It's almost a veiled insult, right? When they talk about the shadow, I think that one of the things that they're doing there is reminding themselves and others, like it's an ontological statement, right? Like, remember, the evil is just a shadow, right? It's real in that, like, a shadow. I mean, it's actually dark in the shade, right? It's not to say that darkness is not an actual state, but it's not a positive thing. He himself is only a shadow. Anyway, that's I think one of the motivations for sort of continuing to come back to that. Okay,
what brings you to these lands?
See. Great.
Our success depends upon our strength.
Reeve Athelward has asked us to remain on watch against the Orcs. Ensure the safety of the city. Yeah, but forget everybody else. We repelled the single attempted infiltration. Yeah, I have some information about that. And in the time since, no Orcs have dared to try again. Yeah, probably because they haven't received the command from their overlord. All the while, Orcs are free to roam our lands, pillaging and raiding. I know, right? That's not okay. I mean no disrespect to Reeve Athelward. That's okay, I do. But I know that we could greatly benefit were we to ride against the Orcs in the fields. Of course. Your men all agree? Great. Except for that one loser? Okay, and I'm supposed to persuade him? Okay. I can do that. Where is he? Oh, there he is.
We must turn to the offensive.
Garmund oversteps his... Ironically, he says we must return to the offensive. We are under direct orders from Reeve Athelward himself. We are to guard the city wall and never patrol beyond. You won't take part in this disobedience? Okay. Well, like, I can understand you, being, I can understand your wrong-mindedness here. This is part of the problem when commanders go bad. I can't fault his loyalty either. But there is more to duty than simply following commands. We have all sworn oaths to protect these lands and the people that live upon them. I wish to uphold these oaths and bring justice to the trespassers against the plains of Rohan. Let's do it! Oh, wait, hang on. Let me upgrade my war steed first. Let's see. What do we have here? Ooh, 4 points available. Wow. Rapid recovery. Oh, hey, yeah. Sure. And is this the one where we get more morale? Or more power? Yeah, that would have been helpful just a little while back. Okay, and wait, what's this one? Hard to hit. Okay, sure. What are these? Understanding. Ooh, minus power cost. Wait, what's the difference between these two? Okay, patience and just like for particular things. I see. Okay, fine. Okay, wait, what is sacrifice? Put yourself in harm's way and absorb all incoming damage. Oh, right. Protecting the steed. Yeah, no, that's cool. I should totally remember to use that. Okay, hard to hurt. And then what are these? Determination, adding resistance, and block and parry ratings. Okay. Well, let's continue to beef up our power issues. Okay. All right. Garmin, I'm just about ready to defy. I'm all about defying Athelward. In fact, maybe you would like to lead that coup that I'm trying to organize. I recommend Athelward's daughter as a really great person to follow. Okay. Oh, I've totally been following the Riders for Madman Modeler, and they, of course, I just recently, I think in the last stream, helped them to sneak their immensely stealthy way out of Cliving. Okay. Let's do this, Garmon.
Garmon has rejected my commands to remain guarding the city. He has taken his Aelred to reclaim land from the Orcs, keeping his oath to protect the whole of the Norcrofts.
Interesting that they made Athelward give the voiceover there. Very interesting. Okay. All right, Garmin. Let's do this.
Our mission is dire.
Yeah, let's get this defiance of Athelward underway. Okay, so we're all gonna, like, all five of us. Okay, that's all good. Oh, there's another guy. Alright, so we're just gonna kind of go around and kill a bunch of things? Sure. Oh, there's that mounted guy. Alright. Hey, we're doing great. For Theorlingas! Hooray! Garmin is a good egg. Okay. And this guy's just kind of really not knowing what to do here. So, one real shortcoming of the mounted combat system is oh, hang on, we're just changing directions, is that there's no ability for any kind of you know, formation, or like, you know, the Rohirrim cavalry here on the, we're just wandering around. Like, this is what we're doing, I guess. Like, just the way that, you know, riding out with an Aorid is, with, this is not like a full Aorid, it's only 5 horses, but still, you know, riding out with the Riders of Rohan, you know, in a great cavalry strike sounds awesome, but we're just kind of like swarming around like bees. Okay, I'm waiting for you here. And that just does not really seem like how the Rohirrim would attack. Okay, I agree. We're going to purge the evil. Which evil, though, man? Onward to battle. Okay. Where? All right, I'm following you, man. Oh, here we go. I assume you want to attack some of these guys here? So yeah, it's just, I don't know. I just can't imagine that this kind of, like, us all swarming and circling around is much at all like how the Rohirrim would actually fight. I agree, Phil, that they're light cavalry. It's not like this is, you know, heavy cavalry set for a charge exactly. But again, it's fighting with a Rohirrim like this is kind of fun, but it's not exactly what I, you know, pictured in terms of what fighting with a Rohirrim would really be like. What are the other guys? Hey, there they are. Yeah, more discipline would almost have to be good, wouldn't it? Oh, there is another bad guy. That's another problem I have, of course, especially like when they're all blue. Like, why wouldn't they make the... Anyway, yeah, because it's just like a whole bunch of blue floaty names circling around. Okay, where are we headed? Okay, let's see. I would feel more triumphant about this if this isn't exactly what I'd just been doing myself, solo. That is, riding around these very fields and killing many of these very orcs. Elves, wasn't it? Oh yeah, there is another bad guy in the midst of that crowd. Alright, where's our fearless leader? There he is, riding back the other direction. Dude, would you stop changing direction? He's like really ADD. Okay. It's interesting that they have us riding out against some mounted people, but primarily foot soldiers. I mean, I think the idea that, you know, we're supposed to get the idea of, like, here's how easy it would be for, like, the mounted force of the Rohirrim to, you know, rid these lands of, like, all they need is just to bestir themselves. If only Athelward would let them. This is fun and all, but we almost done now? Their number is simply too great. Well, they do keep regenning. I mean, I was noticing that too. Are you ready to retire, Garmund? Have you had enough defiance of your commander for one day? You have. Okay. Well, strong work, Garmund. We have done our part. I agree. Kudos to you. That's right. We have not failed to uphold our oaths. Come on. Don't be shy, Gryfflet. Alright, let's return. Hey, Garmund, hope you don't get in too much trouble for that from your evil overlord.
Will you aid the horse lords?
It weighs heavily upon my heart to see lands I have sworn to protect in such ruin and abandonment. Slowly may we overcome the numbers of the orcs and their trail of wreckage, but not if we are shut behind our city walls. Thank you for accompanying me. It is no small comfort to know that there are others who know the importance of protecting one's home. Absolutely. Jacket of Upheld Oaths. I would personally like a jacket of upheld oaths. Yeah, I see that the random quest reward armor that I am getting is starting to catch up in quality to the Riddle Teller armor set that I'm wearing, which leads me to wonder, what should I be doing eventually about
Our success depends
upgrading
upon
my
our
armor?
strength. Will
Anyway.
you aid us?
Rather surprised to find Leof Cattell awaiting our arrival. Okay. Inform him I hold no grudge. Okay. Yeah, Athelward's judgment, so to speak. So,
I do not believe
what did the
you will
orc
find
captain
welcome
say?
here.
Rejoin Garmund. Am I taken for a fool? I have returned to deliver a formal summons by Reeve Athelward. Oh man, I've got to go see him again. Yeah. Fine. Maybe the coup can happen. Oh, fine. Okay. Let's see. Well, actually, I might as well not really start a whole new lore question right now, because when I get into Athelward, I'm gonna have a bunch of things I need to say to him, and then there's gonna be quest text to read, or like dialogue text to read and everything. So let me not get started on that yet. Maybe if I am actually permitted to set off for Elfingels, and in my desire and attempt to finally break out of the orbit of Cliving, I keep getting drawn back and back again. And I could really wish that I were just jumped there. But that's okay. We're riding Crosstown. It's fine. Oh, excuse me. Hey there. Stupid stone walls. Lagging. There we go. Okay. Oh, where did Walnut the terrible detective go? Hopefully hiding his head in shame after the horribly unjust result of his terrible investigation. Okay. Yeah, Sam, you'd think that, like, people who rode their horses around all the time would make streets of their towns better, easier to navigate on horseback. Okay.
Thank you for your help.
Leof Cattell has told that you about. Hang on a second. Let me do the thing for you guys. I keep forgetting. Okay. That you have been assisting Captain Garmund. I sure have. I described the raid against the Orcs, his respect for Reeve Athelward, and his desire to protect his homeland. I hear the truth in the words you speak, and I will now pass judgment on these matters with your testimony in mind. Inform Leof Cattell that I am moved by his loyalty and his adherence to my commands. As such, I've decided to bestow upon him the title of Captain of the Guard. With this rank, he shall be able to oversee the other men on guard and ensure that none shall risk their lives to attack the White Hand Orcs. Then speak with Captain Garmund. He is to pack his supplies and return to the mead hall. For his noble acts and great desire to protect others, he will receive the privilege of becoming my personal protector and safeguard. Oh, boy, yeah, so you can poison him? Oy. The next time I see you, Athelward, I hope it is in chains. When I denounce you in public and bring you to justice and raise your daughter into power, is for her to take her rightful seat here in the mead hall. Okay. Madman Monor is saying I can pick up some some armor in Hitbold. Okay. Well, I'll get there eventually. I think I'm gonna cap Gryfflet after, like, up at around 82-ish or so, 82, 83. Okay. Oh, I've got to go back and talk to Leof Cattell. Then I can finally blow this town. I should cap at 85, you think, Madman Mono? Okay. Right, and then I can... Come on, seriously. Stupid Warsteed. Anyway, yeah, then I'll cap it. Then I can uncap it again when I get to Wildemore, I guess. Oh, man, you're going too fast, Carry On. Slow down. You gotta make the good times last. Okay. Okay, so Wildemore is 85 too. Okay. Right. When would I increase past 85? When I get to the Paths of the Dead in Gondor? Okay, so I'll stay at 85 through Wildemore. Right. That makes sense. Alright, so I'll just keep leveling until I get to 85 then. Makes sense. Oh, at Aedoras. Right, of course. Okay. And then Gondor's 95? Right. Okay. Trying to... Oh, yeah, Garmund. Okay, so yeah, you've been... I'll, say an earnest prayer for you, Garmund.
I do not believe you will find welcome here.
This feels more like a punishment than a reward. Yes, I think all of Athelward's gifts are truly punishments. See what I did there? That was really geeky. That was a quotation from one of Tolkien's letters, who's talking about God and saying that all of God's punishments are actually gifts. But I turned it around, for Athelward. Anyway, okay. It's an honorable title, but one wrought with peril and frustration, right? I sought to keep away from the fields of destruction, only to be thrust into the front lines of our defenses. I'm unsure how this flawed promotion was decided, but I cannot help but think that you are to blame. Oh man, you're yelling at me? Look, just because you decided to stay loyal to the the horrible guy, well, maybe he'll do a bad job. All right, Garmund.
What business
Consider
have
a
you
coup.
with the Rohirrim?
Consider a coup. I regret that I'll not be able to further defend the lands I so greatly love. Okay, perhaps in time I'll be able to convince Athelward not to sacrifice so much of his domain. Yeah, good luck with that, man. Okay. I can leave Cliving at last. Okay. Okay, now that I remember the way down, I can go down this way, and I'm going to want to go straight to Elfingels, I believe. Yeah. All right. Hey, I know. I'm going to put on my hat and become invisible. I keep forgetting to do that. Yep, Athelward, you're right. Gryfflet is fast approaching Wigan, and that's kind of funny because Gryfflet has spent like a significant chunk of his time, getting no XP, and Wigan has spent a significant amount of his time with XP boosts. So Wigan may still have 20 levels on Gryfflet, but that is certainly by choice, and not. Yeah, it's not really a testimony to Wigan's accomplishment, exactly. All right. Hey, Maven, good to see you here. Whoa, okay. That's not the view I was hoping for. Okay, great. I'm following the road. Might as well go overland here. Okay. So, Ethelward, let me move to your lore question. I have a lore question from you, Ethelward. Which is, at the time of the War of the Ring, are there any elves that we know of that are still alive who were original elves, who awoke by the shores of Cuiviénen? That's an excellent question. We do not know for sure. We are not... Tolkien does not say specifically, so this is a matter of speculation. The leading candidates for elves which are alive and about and whom we meet, I would add. I mean, of course, who knows how many of them there might still be, and we never encounter them or meet them in the Lord of the Rings, right? So we wouldn't know. So discounting that possibility, of the elves that we encounter, which of them are most likely to have been original elves awakened by the shores of Cuiviénen? And of these, they're really actually very few. We have to limit it to elves which are pointed out for being very wise and ancient, right? So your generic, it's possible, for instance, it's theoretically possible that Haldir, the guardian elf that they meet at the edges of Lothlorien, is an original elf. There's no positive evidence that he's not. But, I've got to think that if he's older than Galadriel, right? If he's seen, the better part of an age of the world that Galadriel wasn't even born for, it would be pointed out, right? I mean, there'd be some kind of he would probably have a different kind of standing in his society, right? So, Therefore, I'm ruling out anybody who is not treated with some kind of veneration, right? That would seem to be a sort of a necessary thing. Hey, Mildred, he wants to marry you. Don't do it. Don't worry, I'm taking him down.
You cannot be serious. That scoundrel.
I know.
Braggart.
Yeah, exactly. His inaction doomed my husband, and he personally gave my son the wound that killed him. He has the gall to ask for my hand, not once but twice. Yeah, I know. Exactly. Is she... Okay, so about your daughter.
Thank you for easing the worry in a mother's heart.
Okay, yeah, well, she's strong-willed. Yeah, I don't trust that she has any sense. I don't trust that she has 2 cents to rub together. But, you know, I don't want to judge your daughter. Okay, we must not rely on the Reeve to protect us. Exactly. You don't trust him? Brilliant. You feel in my heart that he will see first to the defense of Cliving. Yeah, well, I think your heart's obviously correct about that. The other towns of the Norcrofts do not have Cliving's natural defenses. I've been a good help to you, though yours are not bad, I gotta tell you. But I know you're eager to progress westward in pursuit of the Orcs you seek. Well, I'm taking the very roundabout route towards that. Go southwest to Faldham. That's where I was headed anyway. To scout and see if the crossing is held by foes. Also, I ask that you collect emblems from any orcs you find in the Norcrofts. Show these emblems to Elfhelm, the Thane of Faldham, as proof that we must stand on our own and not rely on Athelward. That's right, Elfhelm's gone to the Fords of Eisen. His son Elfmar must have rule. Show him the emblems. Okay, will do. All right. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We froze. Oh, there we go. Phew. We're back. Okay. Don't worry, Mildred. We'll take him down. We will take him down. Okay. So, okay, so Phil, Phil is asking, so we're talking about Ingwe, you guys, I should say, are talking about Ingwe, Finwë, and Olwe, the leaders of the 3 kindreds of the elves in the Westward March. Now, there is direct evidence that, let's see, I only know of one elf for whom there is explicit evidence that he awoke by Cuivianen, and that's Elwë, Thingol. Thingol says that, right? Thingol says that to the dwarves that are about to kill him, right? He in making his unwise and pompous little speech to the dwarves, he mentions that his life began by Cuivianen ages ago. So it's and therefore it seems to me a fairly safe piece of speculation that Olwe and Finwë are in the same position, the other 2 leaders of their people and the other 2 ambassadors sent to Valinor originally. But beyond those, we have no... So there, you could say that there is indirect evidence for Finwë and Olwe, and there's direct evidence for Elwë only. He's the only one for whom there is... direct. Oh, sorry, not Olwe. That's not what I meant. I meant Ingwe, the other ambassador. Sorry, apologies for that. Olwe, of course, is the one who takes over after Elwë is abandoned. Yeah, Ingwe is what I meant to say. No, yeah, sorry. Anyhow, so as I said, those are the only ones for whom there is any, there is any evidence, direct or indirect. Beyond that, it's all speculation. However, I would speculate. I think there is enough evidence. And another interesting thing, if you think about, are these the dudes I'm supposed to kill? Yeah, I think so. I'm supposed to collect emblems from you guys. Okay. Anyway, so, as I say, I would restrict when we're talking about elves in the Lord of the Rings, I would restrict it to ones who are treated with particular reverence, and sort of spoken of as like being among the wise. Honestly, can you be any more annoying? All right. Well, there's one emblem. Do I get emblems from these random guys? I do. Great. Then let's go old school on these guys. Oh, look. It's, what's his face? Oh, it's Skutog. With his also mounted archers. Okay, so think about the primary elves that we meet and know in the world, like the biggest, most powerful elves that we know. Galadriel, right? Obviously, we know Galadriel is not an original elf. We know that she was born in Valinor, right? So she came after the entire westward journey of the elves. Elrond, he was barely alive in the First Age, right? He was very much, he's from a First Age perspective, he's a kid. Like, he's still like an elven teenager by the time we get to the, to the end of the First Age. Okay, I want nothing to do with either one of those quests, actually. Let's see, any more dudes on foot here? No, that's a... Okay, fine. Scouted the crossings. Alright, I think I'll just head towards Faldom and take out a couple orcs along the way. Or I'll just fall into the river. Alternatively, since I seem to have missed the ford, could happen to anybody. Yeah, so again, Elrond, no. Galadriel, obviously not. Celeborn. Now, Celeborn is an interesting case. I think probably not. But, when we were in, I see Maven talking about Silmfilm here. In Silmfilm, so Silmfilm is the broadcast that we do, and the broadcast/internet project that we have been doing for 4 years now or so, where we're going through the Silmarillion and we are planning a theoretical TV adaptation of the Silmarillion. It's awesome. We're just finishing. We just did our antepenultimate episode of season 4 last night, and that was a lot of fun. So season 4. So we've gotten up through of Beleriand and its realms, basically. The moment when Glaurung emerges and is chased back in. That's what happens in the final episode of our season 4. And season 5 is going to be the build-up to the Dagor Bragollach. And then season 6 will be Beren and Luthien. So anyway, in our adaptation, we chose to say that Celeborn was an original elf, that Celeborn was awakened by the shores of Quevian, and I don't think that's actually true. It's a choice that we made because we wanted to kind of give him a little extra gravitas. I think it's not a big stretch. But I don't think there is any really strong evidence to suggest it. In fact, I think what evidence there is, when we are told about Celeborn's friends and relations there in Doriath, he doesn't get much of a mention, but he does get some mention. And what evidence there is, which is very slight, is, I would say, probably against it. But it at least holds water. It's at least plausible. I think, by far, the best option. Yay, I have 6 emblems. I think by far the best option is Círdan. Círdan the Shipwright is the I think, clearly the best candidate for being an original elf. He is there. We don't know that there is a time before Círdan. He is a friend and supporter of Elwë from the beginning. He set out with, as far as we can tell, he set out with Elwë on the journey into the West. So I definitely think that Círdan is our best bet for original elf. Okay, and so these things, I hate them. Okay. And we're in Faldham. Yay! I made it to somewhere besides Cliving. Ooh. Swart Ripper, huh? A Lothbear. Done. I will take that quest. And let me get rid of Haglob the Troll, whom I don't have time to orbit for 20 minutes. Cancel you. Yeah. Okay. Great. Okay. This is just a little encampment. This is where Elfhelm lives? Modest place. Okay. So, anyway, if somebody forced me to say which elf that we meet in the Lord of the Rings is most likely to have, been an original elf awakened by Cuiviénen, Círdan, definitely my vote. Is it possible there are others? Glorfindel. I don't think so. And the reason I don't think so is that although he is a captain in Gondolin, he seems to be, he and Ecthelion and, the other captains of Gondolin serve under Turgon. And of course, Turgon is like a third generation elf himself. And although he is, given respect as a captain in Gondolin, I don't see. Note how in Elrond's court, as it were, right, in Rivendell, Glorfindel is given special treatment, right? He's treated like an honorable dignitary, right? He's not Elrond's superior exactly, but he's definitely treated differently from like the other people. Like, notice how he's in a totally different category from Erestor, the other counselors, who's the only named counselor of the other, miscellaneous Rivendell elves who's present at the Council of Elrond. Glorfindel is not treated the same way that they are, right? He is treated specially. He has a very, very prominent standing in Rivendell. You can tell on how he's placed next to Elrond, right? Gandalf and Glorfindel are there flanking him at the dinner table and stuff. Anyway, yeah, it's definitely he's definitely a really big deal. He's not treated that way in Gondolin, right? And I would think that if he were an original elf, he would have been treated that way, even in Gondolin by Turgon himself. That Turgon would have treated him like Elrond treats him, right? He would be, yes, he'd be a captain, but he would be, somebody to whom Turgon would give, he would still submit to the authority of Turgon, just as Glorfindel seems to submit to the authority of Elrond, but he would be given sort of special acknowledgement in place, right? But he's not. He's one of the captains of Gondolin and treated like these. Not even the Ecthelion seems to outrank him. So I think that Glorfindel in Gondolin, I would therefore put him around or under Turgon's generation. Basically, I suspect Glorfindel was definitely born in Valinor. If I had to guess, that's what I would say. That Glorfindel was born in Valinor. So yeah, really, I think the only two elves that we meet in the Lord of the Rings, which seem to me even to be viable candidates for Cuiviénen origin, it would be Círdan and Celeborn. And of the two of them, I would definitely say Círdan most likely. Yeah, I'd put him somewhere around the same generation as Finrod. He could be that around that age, exactly. Yeah. That all seems to make sense. And Marielle says it seems to fit for Glorfindel to have been born during the bliss of Valinor. Sort of an embodiment of the blessedness of the elves under the Valar. Yeah, sure, absolutely. That's definitely what I think. Okay, we've got North. I thought he was called Northwolf, like his brother Southwolf. Okay, Elfmar, here I am.
You did very well.
You are Elfmar, son of Elfhelm, Thane of Faldum. Look, I am a big fan of your dad. Elfhelm was always one of my favorite captains. Elfhelm and Grimbold were always my two favorite of the Rohirrim captains, and I've already met Grimbold, haven't met Elfhelm yet. Excited about this. Okay, your men have heard the summons of Reeve Athelward, but have refused to answer his call. Good on you, man! Would you be interested in joining a coup I'm trying to arrange? My scouts believe that the lands of Faldum are on the precipice of being besieged by orcs from the north, awaiting the same fate as many in Elfingels have already endured. My most skilled riders have chosen to stay and defend these lands. I will not force them to abandon the people of Faldum simply out of loyalty to the Reeve, against their own will. Excellent. I
need
like
your
you.
help, if you can aid me.
The orc forces have laid waste to the crofters to the north. We will not allow the same fate to befall the people of Faldum. Good. My riders, the most brave and loyal men I've ever known, are called the Elf Ward. Each of them will have a part to play if we are to withstand the coming siege. The Elf Ward have skill unmatched among all the riders of the plains, yet they are distracted by other concerns. This could prove to be our downfall on the battlefield. We must put their concerns to rest. Hey, I'm happy to help. Speak with Nothwolf. Great. Happy to do it. Let us, by all means, set their minds at ease. And I think
Welcome to Faldum, friends.
Oh, the emblems, right? Here are your emblems. And I guess it's also kind of my bona fides, right? Like, as Slayer
You
of
have
Orcs.
seen battle.
I've known Thane
Would you like
Mildred
to
since I was a
train
boy.
with my
She
men?
was not Thane then, of course. It is a great shame what happened to her husband and her son, but I am not attributing her words solely to grief. Me neither. Reeve Athelward is many things, and I would never say he lacked courage, but the simple fact is that Cliving is far away. Oh, I'd say so many more things about him. He worries first about Cliving. It's all a ruse, man. Okay. Oh, I did meet Elfhelm, right. I forgot about that. Fordsweisen. Anyway, still, looking forward to riding with your father later on. I hope I can help him destroy the siege engines in the battle. I'm glad to hear he still lives. I would like to hear more of your account. While my father is away, I'm trying to rule in his place as best I can. You have seen battle. Would I like to train your men? Well, I'd be honored. Sure. I would be honored. Oh, wait.
I would be pleased to
Hang on a
see
second.
what you can do.
Not quite yet. I just want to finish
Will
collecting
you aid
quests
the
here.
Rohirrim?
Your concern lies with a growing threat from the wooded area to the east. The crofters tell of strange, monstrous creatures. Oh, is there maybe like an enormous lothbear? I might be able to help you with that problem. Of late, a drunken farmer was attacked while pacing the woods at night. Well, there's his first problem. Stories of the beast that came upon him have many worried. Okay. Great. Speak with the elder. Can do. Can do. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, Druid's Fire. I always thought the same thing about Círdan. Druid's Fire was saying, since Círdan doesn't leave with Elrond and Galadriel and all, he has said he was sticking around until the last ship sails, so it would be a nice bookend for him to, in essence, be the last elf standing. Yes, exactly. That's just what I have always thought with Círdan. That was like the post that he put for himself, like having seen the elves come in and you know he's going to usher the last elf over. Yeah, definitely. Good. That's a really interesting question, Marielle. Marielle says, considering how suspicious the elves, the men of Rohan are, is anyone a bit surprised that one of their greatest is named Elfhelm? So, okay, and really interesting question, and it's something that I have thought about before. The use of elf or Alf as a name part, that of course is modeled on Anglo-Saxon names, and they don't have to necessarily. So using the elf element right in their name doesn't necessarily mean that they're like you know, that it's like an homage, right? That this is a sign of respect for the elves necessarily. Elves are creatures of mystery, magic, and power, right? And therefore not trusted, but therefore also admired from a distance, right? There's interest in elves, even if you wouldn't trust them. So again, you can see this in Anglo-Saxon, right? In there are Anglo-Saxon names that have the Alf in it, which refers to elves. That doesn't mean that Anglo-Saxons who gave those names, or even an Anglo-Saxon who had that name, would be keen to meet an elf, right? Or wouldn't like give it a wide berth if somebody told them like, oh yeah, there's an elf in that forest over there. But elves are still, as legendary creatures, cool, right? And that's always the sense in which I've understood the use of things like Elfhelm, right? But of course, in Tolkien's world, there's also always the chance that there's like a family among the Rohirrim who has had some positive interactions with elves, who has some kind of family history of, you know, with elves at some point, right? And so, you know, there might be little pockets of places in Rohan that has some different and more positive traditions about elves and are less sort of just generally skeptical about them. That's another possibility for the understanding of that. I always kind of like that interpretation as well. But again, even without that, it still kind of works. It still kind of works as a name element. Okay. All right.
I would be pleased to see what you can do.
We're starting to run out of time. I'm starting to do my habitual traditional encroachment onto Druid's Fire. Druid's Fire, you are so patient that I have like gotten out of the habit of even attempting, you know, to end on time,
just like his
which
father.
is
We should help him
probably
prepare
a
his men for
bad
battle
habit
as best
here.
we can.
Let me just finish this here. Oh look, it's Nona and Corudan and Horn again. Great. Things go ill in Rohan. I fear that the king's men are fewer than in days past and less resolute. I've heard whispers from villagers and lords alike that put little faith in Theoden King. Easy to understand under the circumstances. I stand with Éomer, the king's nephew and the third marshal. He is my shield brother, and we have sparred in peace and fought side by side during war. If he were here, he would be the first to volunteer to train with my men. Alas, Éomer is carried hither and yon by the tides of danger, and he goes where he is most needed. For today, that is elsewhere. It will not always be so, and that is why I want to train with your men. Okay, great. They will have need of the experience when the orcs come to Faldham. Okay. I've called as many of my men as could be spared from the field. This is the very enclosure where my father taught me to swing a sword when I was but a child. Oh, I love the nostalgia. Okay. Oh, we're gonna, okay, let's do this. Ha! Okay. Great. I'll go gentle on you, Elfmar. All right, let's show them how it's done. Oh, you want a little bit of this? Maybe some of that? Oh, okay. There, very good. Yeah, oh, that was fun. All in good fun. What do you think of that, Horn? Okay, hey, great. Yeah, you go spar with somebody, Horn. How about you, Nana? You gonna school them here? Try not to hurt the horse lords too badly. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Has the rank of Guma. His mood is eagerness. Hey there, man. Can I beat you? Well, I mean, probably. I'll try not to humiliate you in front of your friends. Excellent. Okay. Kaoral. Nice. Yeah, Kaoral is not a happy word. That would be a very low rank. Okay. Great. Rink. Great. Okay. Basically is rink is one of the many words in Anglo-Saxon that means warrior, vaguely. You're weary, huh? You've seen much of war. Much of war. Okay, that's great. Loving the backstory here. Hungry for a chance to prove yourself? That's good. Okay, and then you. Another Kaoral. Works daily on his combat skill, but to little result. Come on, man, I'll show you how to do it. You train every day. Well, you just keep at it, man. Practice. Well, practice doesn't make perfect, but practice makes better. Okay. Guma again. All right, excellent. Understated confidence. Born in Minas Tirith of Rohirric descent. Interesting. Cool. Excellent. Yeah, Carol means free peasant. It's a word which is often used as an insult, like many words that connote low rank are often used as an insult. But yeah, no, I mean it essentially means peasant. Yeah. Okay. Born in Edoras, came to Faldom at a young age. I love this. This is great. To learn the life story of all the random folks in Elfmar's little band of brothers here. What's not to like? Okay, boy, gotta train everybody, huh? And Corudan is like, none of them really can shoot, so never mind. Extreme confidence. Uh-oh. Lives in Snowburn and came to Faldom to serve Elfhelm, but he arrived after Elfhelm rode to the fords. Okay. Loser. Okay, born in Harwick. Okay. Okay. How many more have we got? Oh, wait. There's one more over here. Where'd he go? There he is. Behind the tents. Eagerness. Born in Faldom. Okay, this guy is Faldom, born and bred. Okay. Rink rank. There we go. Is it true that your friend and boon companion Horn is from Aelworth? Sure is. If he is the son of Reeve Ingbert, then his sister is the girl Ingith. Oh. I wonder how she has taken the death of Prince Theodred. Yeah, they were betrothed, right? Now they will never marry. This war has already taken the happiness of many. Are you just idly curious about this, or are you inquiring after Ingith for any particular reason, Elfmar? Oh, we're going again? Okay, all right. Oh, man, I hate to embarrass you by making you lose to a halfling in front of your men here. I mean, seriously. Okay, very good. Excellent. Oh, okay. Oop. Oh, they're going to spar with each other? Oh, man. I want a challenge. Do you think you can provide it? Do you see the strength in my sword arm? Where? Here, my sword arm. You're a great straight man, Horn. Okay. I would fear to harm such a delicate flower. Oh, it's on. Oh, man. Whew. I gotta back off. The sexual tension is a little intense. What do you think of this, Corudan? Oh my. Yes, that's what I think too, Corudan. Nona and Horn will likely be sparring like that for a while. I have been wondering how much longer it might take. Each of their interest in the other has been quite obvious to me, though perhaps not to themselves. Spar with you? Okay. You might want to put your bow down, though. I mean, you're not shooting me, so... fighting with two hands might... Okay, very good. No, they're not yet finished. Okay, I do not quite know what to make of this. If I did not know better, I would say that those two were a-courting. But that would be unwise to say aloud. Thank you for your help. I know that my men are better prepared to face what must surely await them now. Okay. Well, that was great. I love being introduced to all his guys. Okay. All right. I will go back in and talk to Elfmar, and then I will end and finally cede to Druid's Fire her rightful place. Okay.
There is something reassuring about a good
Something
bout
solid
of
and
sparring.
reassuring about a good bout of sparring. Okay. Alright, so we got some... You know what I need? I need another good... I need a good cosmetic set from Rohan here. Let's see. Yeah, see, it's starting to catch up here.
No doubt your
My
friend
road surely
Horn
runs
will be glad to see his home
northwest
again.
now to Eowyrth. No doubt your friend Horn will be glad to see his home again. Oh, I'm sure of that. And you may be able to learn where the Orcs cross the river. As you travel through the Entwash Vale, slay any mounted enemies you encounter. With such speed, they would double back and cause trouble for Faltham. Okay. Okay, can do, but of course, obviously, we're going to finish helping you here in Faltham first, Elfmar. Can't just meet all of your men and then leave immediately. Ooh, I love that banner. Yeah. Oh, that is excellent. That's sort of the barding of the horse. That's so much better than just a... So it's like the helm symbol, except it's a horse helmet, right? Yeah, that's cool. I like it. I like it. Okay, excellent. So Gryfflet will end here today. Thank you guys for joining me today. This was a fun discussion. Good to get back to Gryfflet and lore questions after a hiatus of several weeks here. Gryfflet should be able to be here through most days of January, most of the Fridays of January. I think I'll be good. As far as I know, again, some things can change, but I'm not scheduled to be away again until Texmoot in the first. So that'll be the 7th of February. February 8th is Texmoot down in Houston. Anybody down in the area, I hope you'll consider joining us. Lotro Maven herself is giving the keynote address at Texmoot this year, so that's going to be awesome. Anyway, thanks very much, everybody, and I will see you guys next week. Bye now. Thanks for joining in on my rambles around Standing Stone's brilliant digital adaptation of Tolkien's world. If you enjoy these adventures, please consider supporting this and other entertaining educational programming by donating at signumuniversity.org/fund.